A good friend of mine, Keith Worthington, was a tremendous athlete in town, tennis player, golfer, and worked at a store down in the plaza, Wolf Brothers, and I met him, and all of a sudden I saw him on a cane, and then I saw him on crutches, and I saw him in a wheelchair, and I said, "What's going on with you?" And he told me about ALS, and he was very, he knew they weren't going to find a cure in his lifetime, but he was doing everything he could to help people down the road. And that's when we came up with the golf tournament, and I told him that I would continue to do this, fight for him. He lasted a long time, but when he passed away, we've been having this tournament for almost 40 years now, and it's great news. I think we were one of the first chapters in the country, and then all of a sudden Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Phillies took over, and their team charity is ALS. And now there's chapters everywhere, and so the people of Kansas City should be very, very excited about the news of Radicava, because you know it started here, and it's kind of spread outward, and it is great news on the ALS home front that progress is being made, and I've always said, you know, when they find a cure for ALS, we should have a parade, because we started all the research right here in Kansas City.
True. Tom?
Yeah. Well, my associated with ALS, I knew about the Keith Worthington event that George had, because it was golf oriented, but I was directly affected when my caddy Bruce Edwards contracted the disease and quickly died from it. He didn't, you know, once it was diagnosed, he didn't last over a year and a half, and it was a struggle, obviously, for anybody who has it. And to see the suffering that one goes through to try to breathe without your motor neurons firing and causing basically to suffocate, that really got to me. And but just the loss of a friend and the apparent the situation that we're in, that there was nothing that could be found that was going to help him. That was the most disappointing part and most frustrating part. And I promised him before he passed that I would be, you know, I would make it my life's goal to raise as much funds, as much money as I can for the research. And also, there's a two-pronged approach that these chapters have. The research is one, the care of the patients who have ALS, like Felix, our honorary ALS patient today. A great musician, a wonderful man. And it strikes anybody anywhere, normally between 40 and 70, but it can be, you know, the young and the older. But it's a disease that has no cure until now. We have the hope that with this stroke drug, Radicava, that the progression will be slowed for these patients. And give them the hope that during the slowing of the process that a cure can be found.